SEC basketball is being brought to you by Bell South. Bell South is proud to be the official telecommunications partner of the SEC. By Ford, maker of vehicles that are built to last. And by Jefferson Pilot Financial, complete financial planning and life insurance. We're helping you write the story of your life.
Beard Eves Memorial Coliseum in Auburn. They're introducing the starting lineups. Mississippi State 13-9, Auburn 13-7. Here's how Mississippi State will line up today. The visiting Bulldogs. Whit Hughes, the senior out of Jackson. Horatio Webster, their leading scorer. Tyrone Washington, second in the SEC in rebounding, second in field goal. Dietrich White has been terrific the last two games for Mississippi State. And Trey Moore gets the start, his second straight start for the Bulldogs. And they're led by the big train, Joe.
Horatio Webster was scoreless against Auburn in the earlier meeting in the second half, and they're expecting him to put two good halves together as he did in Gainesville last Wednesday night.
And now the starting lineup for Auburn. Adrian Chilius is the guy who really shut down the big train in that first matchup. Franklin Williams, the graduate student, at the other forward. Mamadou Njai leads the SEC in block shots. Doc Robinson, the point guard, the SEC player of the week. And Scott Holman, the freshman out of Georgia, is their shooting guard. So the Auburn Tigers being introduced, trying to hold serve on their home court today. We'll have the opening tip as the Tigers take on the Mississippi State Bulldogs in a moment.
Oh no, I forgot Valentine's Day!
Don't panic. A dozen red roses are always the perfect gift. That is, if they didn't drop dead in days and cost over $60. This year, give her beautiful silk roses that last a lifetime. Forever Roses for only $19.95. She'll be delighted when Forever Roses are delivered right to her door in a florist box filled with a dozen of the finest silk roses wrapped with baby's breath and a personalized greeting card, all for just $19.95. But wait, call today and we'll include a second dozen absolutely free. That's 2 dozen long stem roses handcrafted from the finest silk to stay as beautiful as the day you sent them. Just call this toll-free number now to send Forever Roses for only $19.95. And we guarantee delivery for Valentine's Day. Call now and have your credit card or personal check ready. Sorry, no mail-in or COD orders accepted. But supplies are limited. So to order for this Valentine's Day, you must call right now.
Call 1-800-970-0099.
The future of America can be only as bright as our young leaders of today. That's why McDonald's and WSFA presented the Black History Makers of Tomorrow essay contest for high school juniors, awarding $2,500 in college scholarships. We're proud to have helped discover and recognize these future leaders of America.
This is definitely an honor. I mean, receiving this award means a whole lot to me.
Congratulations from McDonald's and WSFA.
Mississippi State and Auburn just about set to go. Coaches for today's game, the dean of the SEC coaches, Richard Williams, in his 12th year at Mississippi State. And the Auburn Tigers are coached by Cliff Ellis, and this is his 4th season, his 23rd overall as a head coach. He's been battling the flu. Cliff was really sick the last couple of days, under the weather at shoot-around and practice yesterday, but on the bench today. Njai to jump center against Tyrone Webster. Glad you're with us today for a big SEC Western Division battle. And Chilius gets the opening tap. Joe, talk about Auburn. How will they attack?
Well, Auburn's going to attack the man-to-man defense with a 5-man motion offense. A lot of movement without the ball, looking to penetrate on the dribble.
Njai gets it down low. Double teamed, and they pick him clean. Good defense again by Dietrich White, who's done a great job for Mississippi State the last half of the season.
We'll see Auburn change defenses a lot today. Their starting man-to-man key matchup will be Chilius on Webster, and we'll talk about that as we go.
White, the junior college transfer, gives to Horatio Webster. Misses that one. Tyrone Washington off the glass, no good. And Washington gets another putback. Not a good sign for Auburn early, as State really pounded the boards that time and leads it 2-0.
Another good matchup out at the point. Dietrich White, number 23 for Mississippi State, on Doc Robinson, who, as you mentioned, Bob, was the SEC Player of the Week last week.
Bryant Smith not starting for Auburn as Pullman drives it in because basically defense and chilliest. Robinson no good. Washington rebounds. He's got 3 of them early. White for 3, way short, out of bounds, air ball. And the Cliff Dwellers they'll hear that the rest of the game.
Well, one of the things Mississippi State wants is better play inside out of Tyrone Washington, and you see him right there. Opportunistic on the follow.
He's almost averaging 10 rebounds a game. Almost averaging the double-double as he's scoring 12.5 points per contest. Pullman, great shooter, missed it that time. Chilliest had a hand on it. Njai resets it. Down low, reverse layup, good by Adrian Chilliest.
Any points that Adrian Chilliest can give the Auburn Tigers is a plus. He's in there for defense, and early on, a nice reverse layup.
Game is tied at 2. Whit Hughes for 3. Got it. Whit Hughes, that's his 11th three-point shot of the season, and the Bulldogs lead at 5-2.
Richard Williams wanted Whit Hughes to look for his shot early in the game today. He says he's an excellent shooter, but he doesn't look much for his shot early on.
Chilliest working against the big train and decides to back it out. Shot clock at 10. Doc Robinson and Dietrich White. White, one of the better defenders in the conference. Robinson gets free, misses the shot, and Washington gets yet another rebound. State with the ball in a 3-point lead. Webster, follow away, Chilliest, no good. Washington rebounds it, lost it going up.
Great hustle, excuse me, Bob. Great hustle by Mississippi State. Washington playing big in the lane. And that's what Richard Williams wants to see from him. More consistent play for 40 minutes in that paint.
5 rebounds already for Tyrone Washington. Njai's got to get more active in there against him. Washington shoots over the top and drains it.
Washington's an excellent shooter for a big man. Good touch. He likes to step out on the floor and force your big man to come out away from the goal, which helps his partner Webster get to the offensive glass.
State off to a quick start, a 5-point lead. Njai spins against Washington. Spins back, gets bodied, and misses the shot.
Well, that was great defense there by Washington.
White the other way, over Robinson and hits.
And the defense at one end by Washington led to the fast break opportunity the other way for Dietrich White, number 23, junior college transfer, Connors State, Oklahoma. And he does a nice job of pulling up off the dribble. Look at the defense, possibly a foul there. The Auburn faithful would like to see a foul. No call. White on the rebound, and he's just going to come all the way to the lane and shoot the little jump shot. Good running play there for Mississippi State.
9-2 State, and the reason Tyrone Washington, quick start for the big center, the junior. He's got 4 points, 5 rebounds today, and 2 of 4 from the field. And Washington, of course, leads the SEC, or second actually, in field goal percentage at 52%. State off to the quick start. And Joe Auburn coming off a very disappointing loss at Alabama, 76-62. So it'll be interesting to see how they get back up for this game. Randy Hughes gets the bounce.
Randy Hughes played a great ball game against Mississippi State last week in Starkville. He had 14 points, 9 rebounds, and his size really helps inside defensively for Auburn.
9-4 State.
Bob, you're right. Auburn had a very emotional game in Tuscaloosa on Wednesday night. You see the 5-second call. And again, the nice defense out of the 22nd timeout by Cliff Ellis, who I'm sure got his team jacked up a little bit in that TO.
So State turns it over with a good defensive play by Auburn, but the Bulldogs off to the quick start against the Tigers.
There are over 3 million people who count on Ford Taurus because Taurus has proven itself over 100 billion real-world miles and offers a Duratec engine built to go 100,000 miles before a tune-up. People have confidence in Taurus because it's designed for safety and quality. Hey, the reasons go on and on, just like the car. Ford Taurus.
Dear BP, what if you had special trucks that could turn into gas stations? Then we could buy what we need and get to where we're going a lot faster. Sign
We keep people moving with Pay at the Pump and our fast BP shops. P.S. We've sent your letter to engineering. Prepay cards from BP are now available and make great gifts.
In the land of Dairy Queen, we treat you right.
Come to where hot fudge falls thick and rich. Peanuts are fresh and crunchy and all is cool and creamy.
Come discover the one place where good taste comes through.
Discover the Dairy Queen Peanut Buster Parfait.
When you come to Dairy Queen, we treat you right.
Mississippi State on top of Auburn by a score of 9-4, 15:58 to go in the first half, and the Bulldogs relying on the 3 W's.
Well, Tyrone Washington is the rebounder. He's second in the league in that category, also 5th in block shots. Webster's the scorer. He's second to Ansu Cisse in the league in scoring. Dietrich White is the playmaker and defender. White with 122 assists on the year, only 60 turnovers, Bob. That's an incredible assist-turnover ratio.
You know, Whit Hughes must not be into the computer deal because you think they could work Whit Hughes in there somewhere. Poland hits from the outside. Scott Pullman drills the three-point shot, and the Auburn Tigers close within 9-7. Speaking of Whit Hughes, he hit a three-point earlier, didn't take it this time. Bart Heist now into the contest at shooting guard. Passing low, Washington. Short-armed it just a bit, and the rebound's Adrian Chilius. So Auburn has a chance to tie on this trip down the floor, trailing by 2. Bryant Smith now into the game for Auburn as he slings it over to Doc Robinson.
A lot of dribble penetration by Pullman and Robinson.
Oh, they call a block underneath. Pullman a bit out of control, lost it going up, but he crashed into Hughes, and Hughes draws the foul.
We might see some zone today by Mississippi State, Bob, because they are concerned about the penetration of Doc Robinson and Scott Pullman. Watch Pullman on the dribble, gets into the lane. Good call there by Gerald Boudreaux. The feet were moving, and but he might zone a little bit just to shut down some of that ball penetration. That's a big part of Auburn's offense.
Now a whistle in the other way, and a blocking foul is going to be called on the Auburn Tigers. It's going to be on Adrian Chilius. Well, Arkansas has already won today. They beat Vanderbilt 93-83, so both of these teams have to win to keep pace with the Arkansas Razorbacks. Joe, I think really realistically both of these teams now, they're not going to win the SEC West. They've just got to try and get that second seed in the West.
Yeah, you want to try to finish second in the West at this point in the season. Arkansas at 9-1 with the win today. That makes them 10-1. It looks like they'll win the West. So you're trying to get to the second spot and a bye in the first round of the SEC tournament.
Hughes misses the three-point shot. Mississippi State last in the SEC in three-point percentage. So that's not their forte, the three-point shots. Coleman now throws it away.
Not only that, but Auburn is first in the SEC in defending the three-point shot. So be interesting to see how State handles that if they can knock down some threes. They've got Bart Heitch over on the bench, and he can make them. And right now, Auburn has changed to a zone, and it looks like a straight 2-3 zone, Bob.
Trey Moore started the first 3 games for Mississippi State, then was coming off the bench. He started 2 of the last 3 now for State.
They're actually playing a box and one, and we talk about the three-point basket. That's big for State. Trey Moore. Auburn had gone actually to a box and one that time with Bryant Smith chasing Horatio Webster. They were successful with that defense last week in Starkville when they upset Mississippi State on the road.
So it's a 12-7 State lead. Hughes, baseline, another fall away, no good this time. Tip controlled, and Tyrone Washington, no, check that. Webster got that rebound. Dump it down low. Washington, turnaround jumper, missed everything, and can't be saved by State out of bounds to the Auburn Tigers.
Washington isolated inside on the freshman Randy Hughes. Probably should have drop step and driven it down the baseline, try to use his size and strength against Hughes, but that time turned to the middle, and there's what we were talking about right there. Mississippi State last in three-point percentage. Auburn is 10th in three-point percentage shooting in the league.
Boy, Hughes is getting them and putting them up. Missed that one, a little run and hook shot. And State comes out again.
And you know, last week he did not miss a shot against Auburn in Starkville. 14 points. He hit 6 straight baskets in that low post for the Auburn Tigers.
Washington down low against Hughes. Over the top, off the lip, and Robinson rebounds. Under 13 minutes to go in the first half. At Auburn trailing 12-7. The Tigers with the ball, and Pullman trying to cut into the lead. Nope. Washington had it and lost it. Loose, out of bounds, 2. And it's going to be State's basketball. Stay tuned at halftime for Bell South's You Call the Play feature. Look at big plays from past SEC games. Oral Roberts now into the game, 6'7" junior, replacing Tyrone Washington, who did a number when he was in there. That's Damian Fishback into the game for the Auburn Tigers, and Doc Robinson gets his first rest of the day.
And Bob, the game is similar to the one that was played by these two teams last week in Starkville. Mississippi State started out to a big early lead, and Auburn scored its last 8 possessions of the first half to take a 5-point halftime lead and then won at the end.
Webster puts up a 3. That's no good. Rebound inside. No good by White. The jump ball is called. Well, obviously, Mississippi State must have looked at game films, because Auburn gave up 11 3-point shots, and Alabama hit 7 of those in the last game. So maybe there's something there. They're taking a lot of 3-pointers early.
Mississippi State's a hungry team, too, right now, Bob. As we've talked about, 6 of their last 7 losses have been by 6 points or less. They've been in every single game and just had some heartbreaking defeats. They think today, if they can come in here and pull one out on the road, it might get them going in their season.
And there's a walk on Randy Hughes. He's awfully offensive-minded, but that time took too many steps. Well, Joe, you look around the league, I mean, the teams that are leading it, Arkansas, Kentucky, South Carolina, they have all won close games this year. I mean, look at how many buzzer beaters Kentucky's had already.
Close games is the order of the day in the SEC, and you're right. And this will be a critical month for SEC teams that are on the bubble trying to get to the NCAA.
Good rebound. Pullman, and Smith finishes. What a nice outlet pass from Scott Pullman.
The Cliff Dwellers like that, but give credit to the release there by Bryant Smith. He's a junior out of Huntsville, Alabama, Butler High School. Left early, got behind the Mississippi State defense for the easy basket.
Now the Cliff Dwellers making their first noise of the day. In low, Oral Roberts, and among the white shirts, blocked, and Pullman comes out of there with it. Auburn had broken a 2.5-minute scoring drought, and now they're looking to cut into the lead. Good look to Smith again. Now they're jumping, and State decides to call a 20-second timeout. Bryant Smith off the Auburn bench with 2 monster slams. And the Tigers have pulled within 1 with 11:04 left to go in the first half.
Well, the Mississippi State transition defense is not what Richard Williams would want. That's what he'll be talking about here. Watch the nice penetration by Fishback. He finds Bryant Smith open on the baseline, and again, State slow in getting back and getting set up in their 5-man defense in the half court.
So Bryant Smith, who's averaging 15 points a game, but coming off the bench today, has given the Tigers a little bit of a juice here and getting them going.
Well, he was in the doghouse a week ago. He was suspended from the Mississippi State game last Wednesday in Starkville. Cliff Ellis didn't even take him on the trip. Has not started in a game since then, but he's one of the better players in the league, in the top 10 in both scoring and rebounding in the SEC.
State now only shooting 20% from the field. Heish misses, and Pullman rebounds. That's 3 straight rebounds for him. Bryant Smith going to work again. Auburn looking for its first lead. Franklin Williams hits him.
Bob, around here they call him the governor. He's a 42% three-point shooter this season and a great senior leader of the Auburn team.
So State trails for the first time today. Tang Hamilton, top of the key to Heish. State's already taken 6 3-point shots early, and we played less than 10 minutes.
Well, their game plan, it's obvious, it's either to go inside to Washington and Webster or shoot the 3, but that time, Dietrich White, one of the toughest guards in the league, and maybe the top candidate for newcomer in the SEC. Nice penetration that time for the basket.
Ties it at 14. The governor again, no good this time. And Bart Heish had it on the baseline. And it's out of bounds. And a foul is going to be called on Auburn. A pushing foul. Good hustle by Bart Heisch. So a timeout. Cliff Ellis's team has fought back. It's a tie game with under 10 minutes to go from Auburn, Alabama.
Of all the stories you've come to know, the most important by far is your own. With no other story, you care so much about how it turns out. Are you just waiting to see, or are you writing it the way you want it to go? At Jefferson Pilot Financial, we're doing more than providing financial services. We're helping you write the story of your life.
Saturday night in the WSFA News 12 6 o'clock report.
Organ donation is a serious problem in the U.S. An average of 10 people die every day waiting for a second chance at life. And it's especially crucial to those African Americans waiting for a kidney. Hi, this is Debbie Williams. Join us Saturday at 6 as Dr. Michael Lenore tells us how African Americans can help find a solution to this problem and save more lives. Watch Dr. Michael Lenore's Health Report Saturday in the WSFA News 12 6 o'clock report.
All tied up at 14 all as Auburn and Mississippi State playing here at the Beardy's Memorial Coliseum. Auburn leads the all-time series 22-7.
Well, we talk a lot about the Auburn defense. They're first in the SEC in defending the field goal. They're giving up only 38%. Today you see they're doing the job against Mississippi State, only 6 of 21. Cliff Ellis likes to change defenses. Richard Williams is concerned about that. They've spent a lot of time this week preparing for triangle and twos, box and ones, things of that nature. And right now, Auburn out of the timeout is in a triangle and two. Franklin Williams is chasing Tang Hamilton. At least I think that's what it is. It could still be man-to-man. It's a little hard to see sometimes, Bob.
Hamilton missed everything. Another three-point shot. Horatio Webster blocked by Bryant Smith. What a brilliant defensive play by Bryant Smith. Damian Fishback, who got that last foul, by the way, at the other end before the timeout. Bryant Smith on the baseline. And the governor again.
Franklin Williams can really get his team going when he's hot from three-point land. He's the senior out of Headland, Alabama. He's in graduate school working on a master's degree. A great leader here at Auburn.
9 minutes to go in the half, and Auburn leads again.
Good
Washington double teamed, and the ball knocked out of bounds, and it's going to go off Tyrone Washington.
Well, good job right here. You can see Webster, good job of defending the shot by Bryant Smith. The block gives the ball to Auburn going the other way.
Tell you what, Bryant Smith's having a big year, isn't he? You look at all his stats. Fishback against Bart Heisch. They isolate him. Good job by Heisch shutting him off. Shot clock is down to 10. Bryant Smith takes a look at it. Now a whistle and an illegal pick as Heisch got decked by Fishback. That's his second.
Now let's take a look at it right here. You see Bart Heisch pushing Fishback. Fishback kind of throws him down. And the offensive call there against Damian Fishback.
He said, what hit me? 8:23 to go. Auburn leads by 3. Bob Chesling and Joe Dean with you today from the Beardy's Memorial Coliseum on the Plains.
Auburn is definitely in the triangle and two this time, Bob.
Washington gets a look. Too strong, and Smith flies in at the rebound.
It has a tendency to be confusing. You're not sure if they're in zone, man. And that changing defenses is part of the reason why Auburn has had such a good year on the defensive end.
Njai, good look to Pullman, who can't finish. And White rebounds for State. Auburn's back. Heisch post up for 3. Tie game.
Dietrich White made the play right there by pushing the ball with speed in transition. He got it to the lane that collapsed the defense. The kick out to Heights for the 3.
So the third time we've been tied today. Also tied at 2, 14, and now 17. Franklin, Brian Smith crossover, gives it back to Fishback.
See a lot of on-ball screens there. Good defensive hustle by White.
Shot clock at 5. Coleman gonna shoot it. Nope, gives to Enjai. Gotta put it up. Smith does and hits. What about that?
Boy, those are the kind of plays that just destroy coaches and defenses. State with a good defensive position right there, locking up on the ball, but the loose ball kicked out to Smith, and he knocked down the shot.
Auburn leads 19-17. Tang Hamilton gives it over to White, who's wide open. Missed the shot. Washington backside. That won't stay in. Fishback yanks it off. Boy, I tell you what, Mississippi State off to a very slow start shooting the basketball.
Well, they've had trouble shooting the ball all year. That's been the big concern for Richard Williams' team.
Williams, top of the key, with his Auburn team leading 19-17.
Both teams stress defense.
Smith fires. That's no good. And Coleman gets it again. Franklin Williams baseline. In trouble out to Pullman. Again, they got a fresh 35 seconds on the shot clock. We are under 6 minutes to go in this quickly played first half.
And interesting, Bob, only 4 total team fouls in this game. 2 good defensive teams. There's the 5th foul right there, but both aggressive, but playing with a lot of discipline in their defense. Good coaching both sides by Coach Williams and Cliff Ellis.
It's a tough defensive matchup. Auburn leading it 19-17. And we'll return after this message from Jamison Inn.
At Jamison Inn, every day in every detail. From our free continental breakfast to the way we say hello. We're different because we're not a franchise. So we have only one way of doing things, the right way. That's why when you check into a Jamison Inn, I guarantee you a perfect stay every time. I'm Tom Kitchen, CEO of Jamison Inns, and that's a promise.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Wouldn't putting your stars together with our 5-star rating be a bright thing to do?
Remember, kids in the back seat.
Saturday night in the WSFA News 12 10 o'clock report.
This month marks the 1-year anniversary of WSFA's Family First program. And thanks to you, it's working for people like Donna Devine. Hear her story Saturday.
I can start providing for my kids, the things they need.
Find out how you can help this Alabama family get off welfare and stay off. Watch Families First, Saturday night in the WSFA News 12 10 o'clock report.
Auburn leads, but Mississippi State's only 7 of 27 early on from the field, but 3 of them are three-point goals. White penetrates to Bart Heitch, youngster out of Winfield, Alabama, Bob Kessling, playing a little string music on the plains of Auburn.
Got it in. That's good. 5:48 to go. Bart told us before the game, he said, look for me today. I feel it. So he was drilling them in pregame, and he's got one here early.
Well, the good news, bad news for Mississippi State, only 26% shooting, but down by only at now 5 because Fishback knocks down the big 3. Damian Fishback's been shooting the ball extremely well in SEC play, almost 50%.
Auburn is 4 of 5 now from three-point range to start this thing. Todd Miles now. And at point guard, you see the three-point shooting. There's one missed by Mississippi State.
Last game we did here, Bob, when Auburn beat Alabama so bad, Auburn was 14 of 21 from three-point land. Today, 4 of 5.
Franklin Williams, nobody stops him, but he can't finish. And State pushes back the other way. Miles to Bart Heisch. Good catch. Miles has been very reluctant to shoot. Only 6 points in SEC play. Heisch puts it up short, out of bounds to the Auburn Tigers.
A little quick that time by Heisch. Really wasn't set and under a little bit of pressure. I know Richard Williams would probably like to see his team be a little bit more patient when they have the ball.
See, the Razorbacks win again today against Vanderbilt, 93-83. And Tennessee trying to knock off South Carolina, 21-18. Trey Moore back in the game. Tennessee's a team that's riding a 3-game winning streak suddenly.
They're 4-5 in the league. Tony Harris is healthy now, the point guard, and they're getting better. A lot of people are saying maybe Jerry Green. How about SEC Coach of the Year? You could argue for several guys in the league this year. Nolan Richardson at Arkansas.
Fishback got into trouble and lost the ball out of bounds. So Damian Fishback, 6th turnover for Auburn. Now under 5 minutes to go in the first half, and Auburn leading 22-17. State with the basketball. With Hughes back into the game, finds the baseline, but is shut off by Franklin Williams.
And again, that Auburn boxing one right now. Fishback chasing Webster. They want to keep the ball off of him.
Trey Moore finds the easy layup with the left hand.
Richard Williams said he had to attack the boxing one and the triangle in two. That time, Washington at the high post at 6'10" is a big passer to see over that zone, and he made the nice play.
Good steal by Trey Moore. Goes in and slams it. Moore pulls his team to within 1. Moore, a starting point guard last year, started 30 games, but has been coming off the bench this year. Now he's earned that starting spot back, Joe.
Been playing more of the off-guard position with Todd Miles and Dietrich White sharing point guard responsibilities.
Off to a good start today. And Mamadou Njai hits.
Well, you see what Mamadou did right there. He caught it and turned quick and got the shot up before the double team could get to him.
Tyrone Washington moves against Njai. Can't finish but gets fouled. Njai picks it up. And this will be the first free throws of this game. And it comes with 3:30 left to go in the first half. So it has been a well-played game, Joe.
Good matchup right there between two of the better big men in the SEC. Washington at 6'10", a junior. Mamadou Njai at 7 feet, a sophomore. And Washington very agile for a big guy. That time on the nice drive.
Averaging 35 minutes a game. Misses the free toss. He's had trouble there. Only 59% shooter on the season.
Yeah, you don't see big guys like that putting it on the floor facing the basket. And Washington showing some versatility, trying to drive around the 7-foot Mamadou Njai, who, as we have said, leads the SEC in block shots.
Washington again. 1 out of 2 for Tyrone Washington. That's 5 points for him and pulls the Bulldogs to within 2. The Cliff Dwellers enjoying it so far as the Tigers lead the Bulldogs by 2.
This is the Triton-powered Ford F-150, and this is a 102,000-pound earth mover. Now that's what we call taking the bulldozer by the horns. The Ford F-Series, built Ford tough.
Dear BP, what if you had special trucks that could turn into gas stations? Then we could buy what we need and get to where we're going a lot faster. Signed, Dan.
Dear Dan, we keep people moving with Pay at the Pump and our fast BP shops. P.S. We've sent your letter to engineering. Prepay cards from BP are now available and make great gifts.
Rita Rodriguez once told me there is nothing worse than being trapped on a bad blind date.
So, Maria tells me that you're a tax attorney.
Oh, no, I think she might have said taxidermy. I'm a taxidermist. I have a woodchuck on display.
Of course, being trapped on the phone a day after a bad blind date is no picnic either. So, I suggested Rita try Bell South's caller ID. Well, that and maybe a computer dating service.
I have tremendous peripheral vision. Ooh, the man behind me is buttering his corn.
March Madness begins with the SEC men's and women's basketball tournaments. Be there when the league's teams start their climb up the college basketball championship ladder. For information, call the SEC's ticket office at 1-800-732-4849. Bob Kessling, Joe Dean, late first half at Auburn with the Tigers leading 24-22.
Defensive battle so far. Neither team shooting the ball extremely well, but credit each team's defenses who are very well prepared here today. They really know each other, and the last 4 or 5 times these two teams have played each other, the differential has been 4 points or less.
The ball goes out of bounds, and it'll be still Mississippi State's ball. At the conclusion of the game, we'll be selecting the BP best player from each team. In addition to recognizing our 2 best players, BP and its dealers will contribute $2,000 to the Southeastern Conference to be distributed among the member institutions' scholarship funds under a conference-approved plan. State with a chance to tie. You see the points off turnovers so far in this one.
Auburn out of the timeout is back to their straight man-to-man defense.
Miles, rare outside shot, no good.
Now, he's an amazing story, Miles.
Alley-oop a little too far. Fishback gets it. Oh, Robinson, good look to Hughes, who finishes.
Well, the Doc, he likes to operate here in Beardy's Coliseum, and that time found an open Randy Hughes moving well without the ball down on the baseline. Doc Robinson having an excellent sophomore season.
No points today, but he's had a couple of good assists.
Todd Miles, the guy with the ball we talked about, has not scored very much, only 6 points in 8 SEC games.
Horatio Webster, he still hasn't scored this half and misses from the baseline, so he's gone almost 2 complete halves against Auburn without scoring. Bryant Smith no good, but Mamadou gets the rebound.
Good ball movement there.
Robinson for 3, got it.
Well, anytime you take it inside and kick it back out, you normally have a good look at the goal, and Doc Robinson becoming one of the better shooters in the SEC from the point guard position. You can tell the frustration by Richard Williams. He doesn't want to leave Doc Robinson that open.
Tigers now 5 of 7 from three-point range. Pass inside and a foul on Randy Hughes. Joe, we haven't really had many stoppages of play, have we? We've been back and forth.
And again, we've talked about that, Bob. The discipline of the defense is good, and it's a sign that both teams have been well coached, well drilled on the defensive end. They're not reaching for balls. They're playing good, solid position defense, and they know who they're trying to stop. In the case of Auburn, they're trying to stop Webster and doing a good job.
State has only been called for 2 fouls in the half. Auburn 5. Shot blocked. Miles has it rejected. You can't go inside of those big trees unless you've got something strong. Bryant Smith, he's fouled and goes to the line.
Well, the defensive end of the floor leads to offensive opportunities. You see the great block by Randy Hughes, the freshman, and in transition, Bryant Smith, so active, junior out of Huntsville, kisses it in off the glass.
Smith now with 8 first-half points will go to the free throw line. And this will be Auburn's first free throw of the half, and Smith nails his 9th point.
Bryant Smith does so many things for this team. 6th in the league in scoring. How about 4th in rebounding from the small forward position, and 1st in field goal percentage.
It's a 10-point lead, and now State turns it over again. Auburn on a 10-1 run to open up this lead. It's 32-22.
And we talked a lot about the confidence factor of Mississippi State. They've lost so many close games this season, and right now they just do not have a lot of confidence in their play.
Mamadou Njai over the back. That'll be a foul on him, his 2nd. That's only the 6th team foul on Auburn, so no shots here. Franklin Williams comes back in for Big Mamadou. And there's Franklin Williams. Had 2 big 3-pointers in the first half. Has 950 points now in his Auburn career. Needs 50 more for 1,000. White penetrates to Horatio. That's his first bucket of the day.
Richard Williams again talked about attacking the Auburn defense on the dribble. White did it that time, kicked it out and got Webster a shot, and I believe that's his first basket.
It is, and he missed his first 5 shots from the field. Under a minute to go. In fact, now 18 seconds. You see the game clock, lower right. Brian Smith going to let it tick down to 10 and then start the offense. Now Doc Robinson back out. He'll let it go. Robinson to Randy Hughes on a blocking foul on Whit Hughes. No basket. That's 2 of those Hughes is drawn today.
Well, the screen on the ball had Richard Williams concerned today. They talked a lot about it. Hughes rolls quickly out. The great assist right there by Doc Robinson. And a questionable call, but the official, of course, is always right.
Right. You know, there's 3.7 seconds to go. State's got 2 fouls to give, Joe. Do you foul them real quick?
Definitely, definitely.
They drew the alley-oop. Hughes catches, misses, tip, no good. And the half is over. Mississippi State dodges a bullet there at the end, but Cliff Ellis's team still leads 32-24 as they go to the locker room. Our halftime activities when we come back to Auburn, Alabama.
SEC basketball is brought to you by BP. At BP, everything we do is to keep you moving. By Jameson Inn, where you're guaranteed a perfect stay every time. And by Bell South. Bell South is proud to be the official telecommunications partner of the SEC.
Okay, honey. How about this? I'm seeing a cabin.
Are you seeing plumbing?
Imagine a big porch, a stone fireplace, plenty of room for the grandkids. When you find yourself writing the story of your life, tell it to Jefferson Pilot Financial. We'll help make it happen. My big painting of dancing bears?
No.
Oh.
You had me till the bears.
Come on.
It's only a little scratch.
Here a scratch, there a scratch, everywhere a scratch. And they're all an eyesore. What you need is GS27 Scratch Remover. It's new from Duralube. GS27 gets rid of those surface scratches and paint swirls quickly and easily. Simply rub it into the scratch, then polish to a beautiful finish. The scratch is gone. GS27 is not an abrasive, and it works wonders on any color. Would you do this to a brand new car? Ouch! But GS27 removes that ugly scratch quickly and easily. It'll even remove paint scrapes and unsightly rust. GS27 is only $14.95. But order now and get a second tube for only $5. That's 2 for just $19.95. Order now.
Call 1-800-738-9944 or send check or money order for $14.95 for one or $19.95 for two, plus $5.95 shipping to GS27, 1000 Apex Street, Department GS, Nashville, Tennessee.
Advance Auto Parts presents part number 64. Tom, head of PDQ.
Hey, groovy guy, I'm looking for a exhaust gas recirculation valve for my 76 Cordova.
If you need hard-to-find parts, it doesn't matter what model or even what decade your car is from. With PDQ, you'll usually get the part overnight. Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
SEC basketball is brought to you in part by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Our Payday Play of the Week is brought to you by Payday. Sweet caramel, salty peanuts. It's Payday.
Gets it in front court to B.J. Bumped by Levitt. B.J. has to move around Levitt, then bumped again. Now Grant has it. Shoots for three. Goal! Goal! Oh, my goodness! And there's a mob on the court. Over by us. It was knocked down. The ball came loose, and Grant shot it a straightaway three, and he knocks it down as Carolina wins an unbelievable game.
Big win for the South Carolina Gamecocks against Cincinnati. Here, Auburn trying for a big win against Mississippi State. State had the lead early by 7, but then Brian Smith, Doc Robinson and company, and Franklin Williams hit a couple of big shots to lead the Auburn Tigers to the lead here at halftime. Bob Kessling along with Joe Dean. Only 3 free throws in the first half. This thing zipped by.
It did. It was a fast first half, as you said. Good defense on both sides, a lot of discipline. and you expect your best player to step up in big SEC games. Bryant Smith has done it for Auburn. Horatio Webster has not. He has struggled with only 2 first-half points.
And 1 for 6 from the field. But the hot hand in the first half belonged to a guy who came off the Auburn bench.
But when you talk about versatility in a basketball player, you look at 3 things. Does he run the floor? Bryant Smith down the floor for the dunk. Does he move without the ball? Bryant Smith on the baseline. He's open for the jam. And third, can you hit open jump shots? Bryant Smith, lefty, a little string music.
And that's with the shot clock down to 0. So we haven't gone to the dogs here yet at Auburn. We're still hanging in there. It's 32-24. Tigers lead at halftime over the Bulldogs.
Just how strong is the Southeastern Conference? Strong enough to turn individuals into heroes and teams into champions by providing millions of dollars in scholarship awards. At Regions Bank, our employees have also built a strong, award-winning team as we've grown from 3 small banks in Alabama to over 360 offices throughout the Southeast. All of us at Regions are extremely proud to be the official bank of the Southeastern Conference Championships.
I plan to be a cardiovascular surgeon and want the best preparation for medical school I can get. That's why I'm a pre-med student at Mississippi State. I know that my degree in microbiology will help me succeed in medical school. Our graduates attend some of the top medical schools in the country. So if you want to be a doctor or plan to study in a field like physical therapy, Mississippi State's a healthy choice.
Mississippi State University, providing leaders for Mississippi.
Advance Auto Parts presents part number 42. Jesse from Quality Control. Jesse travels the country. He spans the globe in search of the best quality parts for your car. Factory visits.
Alle Teile übertreffen die Spezifikationen des Herstellers.
Wunderbar. Product inspections on over 250,000 different parts and accessories.
Thank you.
No problem. Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
What makes a Dairy Queen frozen Valentine cake so special? Because it's made with the sweetheart of treats, delicious Dairy Queen chocolate and vanilla soft serve, and a big hug of chocolate fudge and chocolate crunch. But the icing on the cake is you can get it decorated our way or your way. The Dairy Queen Valentine cake, the most delicious way you can say, be my Valentine. We treat you right. Dairy Queen.
Be sure to visit the official internet site of the Southeastern Conference for up-to-date stats, game previews, coaches' comments, and much more. The SEC online at secsports.com. 2 teams with 13 wins each battling today. Auburn leading at halftime, 32-24, trying to sweep the season series with the Bulldogs. Let's check other scores now around college basketball this afternoon. As you see, the Arkansas Razorbacks have already won today. They beat Vanderbilt 93-83. Tennessee going for its 4th straight victory. Tennessee on top of Carolina in the first, 38-31.
Ole Miss and Alabama will play in Oxford later this afternoon. That's a big one for the Rebels as they're trying to keep pace to get to that NCAA tournament. Maryland on the road today wins over Florida State.
Other scores around the country in the Big Ten. Michigan State wins against Iowa 75-64. And back in the ACC, Clemson leads in the second against Wake Forest 32-31.
Connecticut from the Big East beats Stanford. That's a couple of top 10 games there. 76-56. Rhode Island over California. Number 23rd in the nation, Jim Herrick's team wins it 72-63.
What about the Rams? They won again today. Here are the Tigers in control at halftime. On top of Mississippi State, back to check the stats and highlights for the first half in just a moment.
Bell South presents You Call the Play. Last season in Nashville, Vandy saw a 22-point lead erased by the Wildcats. Now they trail by 6. Drew Maddox threw up a wild 3 that went in. The Cats tried to quickly inbound the ball, but they turned it over. Vandy has the ball. Who shoots? The senior who has 27 points or your all-SEC guard who has 18? You call the play.
Everyone needs someone who will be there. Everyone needs someone on their side.
If your car or home is damaged, your nationwide insurance agent will be there, making sure your property is repaired or replaced to your complete satisfaction, with no hassles. That's our Blue Ribbon Claims Guarantee.
Nationwide is on your side.
Considering that Auburn University is responsible for developing bridge safety standards and plays a leading role in the engineering of smart materials that solve fatigue problems in the majority of bridges in our state, it seems only fair to pose the question, where would Alabama be without Auburn?
The Southeastern Conference enjoys a rich tradition of excellence in both academic and athletic endeavors. A major reason for the success of the SEC is our partnership with some of America's top corporations. As corporation sponsors, these businesses help fund SEC youth clinics, drug education programs, and are the official presenters of each of the men and women's conference championships. The Southeastern Conference is proud to be associated with these companies, which are making a positive contribution to intercollegiate athletics.
My mother taught me to be a real perfectionist, but around the house, I'm pretty relaxed. I think you should have beauty and comfort. So I looked in the real yellow pages from Bell South for a real comfy sofa and a real cozy rug. If it's called a living room, it should be lived in. No, don't sit on that.
Sorry.
No grape juice in here.
Sorry.
Like I said, relaxed.
Use the real yellow pages from Bell South.
Atiba Prater picks up the loose ball and overlooks both Whitehead and Maddox. James Strong ends up shooting for the tie, but it won't fall. Cats win 82-79. You call the play, a presentation of Bell South.
Halftime at Auburn. The Tigers on top of Mississippi State, 32-24. State's had a problem shooting all season, and today only 28% in the first half. Credit Auburn. They played pretty good defense today.
Well, we've talked a lot about Auburn's defense. They lead the SEC in defending against the field goal and points allowed on the season. They've held Horatio Webster to 2 points. That's the story of the game. That and Bryant Smith with 9 points and 4 assists off the bench.
Let's look at some of the highlights from the first half. As we said, Bryant Smith was able to come off the bench and give him a big spark.
Well, Bryant Smith does so many things. Runs the floor in transition, as you see here. He got the pass from Coleman for the dunk. And off the bench with 9 points, keyed Auburn. Mississippi State in transition. They've made 3 of these. Bart Heitch, who's out of Winfield, Alabama. He loves coming back home. He knocks down the three-point basket. And then the Auburn defense, 3 blocks in the first half. 2 of them by Randy Hughes, the freshman right there. And as we talk so many times, defense leads to offense. The transition, Bryant Smith with the bank finishes the play.
And the Tigers had a 10-point lead at one point. It's now 8, 32-24. Now it's time for the Jefferson Pilot Financial Halftime Stats. You see the field goal percentages. State only hit 28% from the field. Auburn at 44%, Joe.
Well, the shooting is the story. Auburn's defense versus State shooting. State only with 3 turnovers are handling the ball, but not making shots.
And the free throws, only 3 of them, all in the first half. So second half coming up. It's Auburn on top of Mississippi State, 32-24. We'll have the second half when we come back to Auburn.
As the creator of premier telecommunications customer care and billing systems and the operator of our own highly successful communications company, we help firms worldwide deliver the service their customers demand. Alltel, always more than you thought.
Rough night's sleep, no big deal? Look again. This X-ray shows no support for your neck and spine when you toss and turn on an ordinary pillow. But now there's the Contour Cloud, the world's most comfortable pillow. Patented soft-touch memory layer molds to fit your head, neck, even your ear for unparalleled softness and comfort, while Blue Base straightens and aligns your spine. Plus, exclusive Crescent provides comforting support to your neck and shoulders. It even cradles your back. Watch again how ordinary pillows simply don't support you. Now see how the Contour Cloud cradles your head in softness as it straightens and aligns your spine.
Thousands have paid $90 for this memory pillow, but you can order ours direct for only $19.95 with a 90-day money-back guarantee. Order in the next 60 minutes and we'll include this hot cold therapy gel pack, a $9 value, free.
Call now to order 1-800-216-6655. Don't waste another night. Call right now, 1-800-216-6655. That's 1-800-216-6655.
Communications, information services. The faster these technologies converge, the sooner we need to talk. Alltel, always more than you thought.
I can play basketball to the max.
The Nike Air Zoom Max up-tempo at just for feet. I can take my game to the max. The Nike Air Penny at just for feet.
I can cross-train to the max.
The Nike Air Metal Max at just for feet.
I can run to the max.
The Nike Air Max running shoe. To air is human.
To max is divine.
Go to the max.
Go to Just for Feet for the latest, hottest Nike.
Just for feet, where the 13th pair is free.
Jefferson Pilot Sports' exclusive presentation of SEC basketball is being brought to you by Alltel, where computing and communications converge. Alltel, always more than you thought. And by Nationwide Insurance. Check the yellow pages for the Nationwide agent nearest you.
Really a well-played first half, only 10 turnovers. Mississippi State only had 3 of those, but still they didn't score enough to grab the lead back from Auburn as Cliff Ellis's team leads it by 8 at halftime. You see the leading scores. Trey Moore was 7 for Mississippi State, and Brian Smith with those 9 points off the Tiger bench. Joe, second half, I guess, you know, Mississippi State got a lot of good looks. They just didn't knock them down.
Bob, you're right. I'm looking at the shot chart that they give us here at the press table. Mississippi State missed 10 shots from within about 8 feet of the goal. And when you get those opportunities, you got to knock them in to have a chance to win, especially on the road in the SEC.
Tiger ball to start second half. Auburn leads by 8.
Mississippi State starts man-to-man. Dietrich White on Doc Robinson. He did a nice job on Robinson in the first half.
Franklin Williams hit a couple of those in the first half. Backs out, doesn't take this one. Shot clock down to 6. Doc Robinson and Tyrone Washington sends that one back the other way. 4 seconds in the shot clock.
That's the job of a big guy to help out on ball penetration, slide over and keep the shot away from the basket.
Tigers have got 4 seconds to put it up. Somebody got to shoot it. And they get stripped. Tyrone Washington got a hand in there and stayed back the other way. Moore down the lane and gets bumped by Scott Pullman. First foul on Pullman.
Well, we've talked a lot about the Auburn shot blockers, but how about 6'10" Tyrone Washington on the help, watching on the drive by Robinson, and he slaps it away like a hockey goalkeeper, just keeps it out of there.
His second block of the day. We'll go on with his 7 rebounds. Whit Hughes gets it down low to the big train who gets fouled and will go to the line.
A good start here in the second half for Mississippi State. An excellent possession defensively. Did not give up a shot by Auburn at the other end. Getting it to the foul line, kicking it inside, and attacking the basket. That's what Richard Williams wants to see from his team in the second half, because they didn't go to the foul line hardly at all in the first half, and they need to get Webster there.
He misses the first one, he'll have another. The announcers for the game are selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports. Any use of the broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited. Big Train misses 2, but State gets the offensive boards, and now they go back to work.
Smart play by Whit Hughes, just tipping the ball out.
Webster can't finish it, and Doc Robinson rebounds. Brian Smith in front court. Franklin Williams kicks it out to Brian Smith. Smith, a hanger down the lane, is short, and the rebound is controlled by Tyrone Washington. Joe, it's been an unusual tempo and flow in this game.
It really has. You can't say that it's been a fast tempo. You really can't say it's been a slow tempo. We've had a little bit of both. But again, the defenses are the key for both teams. Both coaches really emphasize that area, and they know each other so well, Bob. I can't emphasize that enough.
That was Whit Hughes' second three-point shot of the day, and it cuts the lead down to 5. Williams tries one. He hits.
I tell you, I've never seen him so confident. That's what happens when you become a senior. You know, you just feel so good about yourself. You have so much experience and no fear in shooting that three-point shot.
He had 11 points in the first matchup with Mississippi State, has 9 today, and the lead is back out to 8. Trey Moore, a hanger, short on it on the bank shot.
See, that's just not a good shot right there. State has not been as patient in their offense as they'd like to be, and thus the percentage is down.
Mamadou Njai down low. He hadn't touched it much today. Tried to dump it on low to Williams, and it's intercepted by State. Dietrich White in front court around Mamadou and lays it in. That's a pretty tough move there.
It is. And you know, we talk so much about a good defensive play usually leads to a positive offensive play, and that was a good example of it.
Mamadou Njai inside against Washington. Fall away no good. Battle on the rebound, and White comes out of there with it. 6-point game. Auburn leads it. Moore again. He challenges Mamadou for the second time, and it doesn't work. Whit Hughes for the steal. Pullman comes up and hits. That's a 2.
Well, again, the lack of patience on the offensive end by Trey Moore. He's a senior, has forced 2 shots. That one led to an easy basket on the other end by Auburn. Bart Heitch is at the scorer's table. He's going to come in undoubtedly for Trey Moore.
Joe, it's amazing. It was 32-29, a 3-point game. State takes 2 bad shots and suddenly down 8 again. Look at Whit Hughes.
You know, he started the first half with a 3, and now early in the second half he jumps up and knocks down a 3. The one thing about Whit Hughes, he's a senior. He's not the flashiest guy in the world, but you know what you're going to get from him every night. Good, steady play, and he will make an open shot.
Yep, he's hit 3 3-point shots today, coming in and only had 10 for the season. Mamadou hooks it up. No, Washington rebounds his 8th of the afternoon. 4 minutes gone, second half, 5-point game Auburn. White's going to challenge Mamadou, and that's not going to work either.
See, that's not a good shot either.
Coleman challenges Moore and scores.
And when you take shots like that on the offensive end, you rush. Your team is usually out of position for defensive transition, and it led to the easy one for Auburn. Need to get it inside to Washington. Let him operate on Mamadou Njai.
Washington lost it on the dribble. And Horatio Webster's only made 1 of 7 shots. He hadn't touched it much. Has not been involved in the offense. Another bad possession for Mississippi State as they turn it over. So the Bulldogs had cut it to 3. And now they're in danger of falling behind again by double digits as Auburn leads by 7.
This isn't just a car. It's a sign of how far you've come. So if it gets damaged, who do you want on your side? At Nationwide Insurance, we guarantee that your car will be fixed just the way it should be. Because we wouldn't have it any other way.
Nationwide is on your side.
Never before has your competitiveness relied so heavily on networking and communications technology. With markets expanding around the world and customers demanding immediate access, Alltel stands out as offering total business solutions customized to meet your needs. Wide area video and data networking. Call centers offering your computing capabilities directly to your customers. Alltel delivers complete communications and computing solutions. Alltel, always more than you thought.
Hot eats, cool treats, a Dairy Queen.
When you crave a chili dog, where can you get the best? Dairy Queen, of course. They're famous for the world's best foot-long chili dog. They're on special all this month. Take the entire family to Dairy Queen because everyone loves chili dogs.
Hot eats, cool treats, we treat you right.
Coming up Wednesday night, couple of big games for you. South Carolina taking on the Alabama Crimson Tide. That's at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. Or in your area, perhaps you might be watching C.J. Black and the Tennessee Volunteers go to Rupp Arena to take on the Kentucky Wildcats. So again, check for the game in your area. Tennessee, Kentucky, or South Carolina and Alabama. Tennessee leading at halftime against Carolina, 38-31 up in Knoxville. Tennessee going for its 4th straight win. Here Auburn looking for its 6th SEC win. And the problem for State, Joe, has been Horatio Webster. Webster just hadn't been able to get it going today.
And credit the Auburn defense. They started with Adrian Chiliest on him. They've used Franklin Williams, some Bryant Smith. All have done a nice job against Webster defensively.
Webster 1 for 7 on the day. We approach the 15-minute mark. Auburn leads by 7 in a rapidly played game here at Beardy's Memorial Coliseum. And Coleman no from the baseline. White the rebound. Joe, he's a very active guard, isn't he?
He's an excellent player. Very tough, handles the ball well, a good defender, and averaging about 12.5 points a game. A lot of people feel he might be the leading candidate for newcomer of the year in the SEC.
Washington will fall away, follows it up, no good. Washington one more time, and a foul. Well, it's not pretty, but Washington really working hard inside.
Well, he did that early in the game. He had 5 rebounds in the first 2 minutes of this game, and here you see him hustling after the loose balls, his rebound, staying with it, and giving himself a chance at a three-point play. Probably should have got that one in, but at any rate, gets to the foul line.
And Washington misses there. He's only a 59% free throw shooter. And I'll tell you what, State has really struggled at the free throw line the last couple of games. He missed them both. They shot 52% against Arkansas, 57 against Florida, and 1 for 6 today at the free throw line. Joey had their Arkansas game. They could have won that if they hit free throws.
Oh, they played tremendous against Arkansas.
What a good tip by Randy Hughes.
Really like Randy Hughes. Just a freshman out of Stillmore, Georgia. He's going to be a good one at 6'9", very active, Bob. He plays with a lot of enthusiasm, and as we said earlier, he had a great game against State last time out, 14 points and 9 boards.
Auburn has built the lead back up to 9. And again, Horatio Webster, he just can't touch it today, not getting open. White down the lane. There's Webster open and hits.
Well, those two guys played high school ball together. Webster and Dietrich White, they went to Connors State Junior College together and now playing here at Mississippi State. They know each other well, and Dietrich White that time got his partner open for an easy jumper. State now goes to the zone. Be interesting to see how they do, Bob. Last Wednesday in Gainesville, this was the defense that brought State from a 13-point deficit to within 1 of the Florida Gators.
Fishback clears it over to Smith. Now Pullman's got a wide open look and hits it again. He's starting to score. He had 14 in the first matchup with Mississippi State. Knots his 10th. That's coming off an 18-point performance the other night at Alabama.
Well, he struggled some in SEC play against pressure defense. It's keyed on him, but Scott Pullman, an excellent standstill shooter.
44-34, 10-point again. White knifes down the lane. Missed it, but it's tipped in by Tyrone Washington.
Washington's starting to come to life a little bit. You can see Dietrich White trying to become a leader of the State team and bring them back right here.
Washington trying to get a double-double. He's got 7 points already with 12 rebounds. White using a Washington screen. Missed the shot. He just followed right in behind Big Tyrone, but he missed it. Randy Hughes the other way gets clubbed. As with Hughes, and Washington make sure he doesn't finish.
Bob, right there, that is a mistake by the Mississippi State guards. They were back defensively and just allowed Randy Hughes to run right by them. Washington was late getting there. You see him coming into your picture here late. But the Mississippi State guard should have been in tandem back there and stopping that quick pass up the floor to a streaking Randy Hughes.
Here's Randy Hughes. He's only a 45% shooter and banks that one in. There's the halftime score for the Thompson Bowling Arena. Tennessee 38, South Carolina 31. They're expecting a big crowd for that game. And tonight, the Lady Vols take on Old Dominion. They've sold the place out, 25,000 for a women's basketball game tonight.
Well, they're calling Pat Head Summit the John Wooden of women's basketball, and I heard a coach yesterday make the comment that he thought the Tennessee Lady Vols were the best women's team ever in college basketball. That's quite a statement.
Hughes, no look that time on the bank. And so it's a 11-point lead, biggest of the day for, take that, a 9-point game. It's 45-36, whistle. And a foul is going to be called, a bumping foul, an illegal pick called on Horatio Webster.
Tell you what, he's really having a tough day, and Richard Williams is frustrated, just cannot get the offense going, can't get Horatio Webster involved. And again, credit that Auburn defense, well diagrammed by Cliff Ellis. State trying to change the flow with the zone defense.
Approaching the 12-minute mark. Robinson fakes baseline. Little floater. Good move by the doctor.
Doc said, I don't care, man, zone, it doesn't matter to me. You give me an opening, I'm taking it in there, and I'm going to stick it in because I'm the doc.
Biggest lead of the day for the Auburn Tigers. It's 11 with 11:45 to go. State's got to get something going offensively. Bart Heisch open. Good look, and he drains it.
Well, he's the best three-point threat for the Bulldogs, and he's an Alabama native. He loves to come back here and play, and he needs a few more of those. As State now out of the zone, going back man-to-man. They're going to call Randy Hughes on a moving screen.
That'll be Hughes' second foul. There's Bart Heisch. He had 75 three-point shots last year. He's got 26 today on this season. The doctor in the house. 47-39 Auburn.
Some people know us as their phone company. Others know us as their wireless service provider. Still others rely on our paging services and internet access. As a Forbes 500 company with over 80 years in the communications business, we do all of those things. But we also provide information-based solutions to customers in 45 countries with our leading-edge software, management services, and technical expertise. Alltel, always more than you thought.
Our Advanced Auto Parts Rookie of the Week is Florida Gator guard Jason Williams. And the Gators' huge upset win at 7th-ranked Kentucky. Williams was a one-man wrecking crew. He torched the Wildcats for 24 points as he hit his first 5 shots from the field. For the week, Williams averaged 21 points per game and dished out nearly 6 assists. He currently leads the SEC in assists per game and also free throw percentage. That's Florida's Jason Williams, this week's Advanced Auto Parts Rookie of the Week.
You have Eggs Benedict taste, but a scrambled eggs budget, and you want to furnish a home? What to do? No problem. Come to Kaiser Fine Furnishings. We've just introduced Drexel Studio in Thomasville. 2 fine furniture lines that also just happen to be very affordable. Drexel Studio, Thomasville. Thomasville, Drexel Studio. Join the circle of living well. You can do it at Kaiser.
Our Nationwide Insurance Scholar Athlete of the Week is forward Whit Hughes of Mississippi State. The graduate student from Jackson, Mississippi received his degree in marketing last spring with a 3.53 GPA and is currently working toward his MBA. Congratulations to Whit Hughes, our Nationwide Insurance Scholar Athlete of the Week. He's also set to get married as soon as this season is over. Auburn leads at 47-39 over Mississippi State. Of course, the longtime voice of the Mississippi State Bulldogs is Jack Crystal. Now in his 45th year calling Mississippi State basketball. Let's listen to one of the legendary voices in college basketball.
Auburn back on defense. Working Mississippi State out to Heitch on top. Left side to Hughes out of the corner. Hughes penetrates, fires, and scores. That time it was a 2 as he's hit 3 threes in a row. He has 11 points in the ball game. Auburn up by 6, 47-41. 11:08 to go. Working in the second half of the ball game. Doc Robinson comes up, dishes it left side. Franklin Williams with the jumper. Will not go. Rebound fought for, and coming out of there with it, the Bulldogs. Outlet it to Todd Miles. Miles drives it hurriedly up the floor. Penetrates, drives, lays up. Not there. But we've got a whistle and a foul. Somebody held him down.
I think it was Doc Robinson who gets called for the foul, much to the chagrin of the crowd and Cliff Ellis, who spreads his hands and stares from the bench across from us. But Miles will go to the free throw line Miles has not scored in this basketball game. He's averaging 3.5 points per contest, and he's shooting 63% off the free throw line.
Miles' free throw is home. He'll have another one coming. Bulldogs want to get Ty Washington back in the ball game, and Horatio Webster will rest. Scott Pullman's going to check back in for Auburn, and Damian Fishback will step out. Auburn leading it by 5, 47-42. Todd Miles trying to make it a 4-point ball game. Miles pumps the free throw up, and he's good. He got them both. Bulldogs finally hit a couple of free throws.
So that's Jack Crystal, one of the great voices in SEC basketball. Helps pull his Bulldogs close while he's on the air with us. 47-43.
Yeah, Bob, one of the great guys in the SEC, an icon at Mississippi State, Jack Crystal. Just wonderful to see him in his 45th year, continuing to do Bulldog athletics.
You know, we talked with Richard Williams last night, and he was talking, of course, he's been with Jack now for 12 years, and talked about his voice is so distinctive. Everybody in the state of Mississippi, when they hear that voice, they know it's time for Mississippi State Bulldog athletics. The foul was on Washington, and a shot's good. And Doc Robinson connects on his 7th point of the day.
He's really improved his perimeter shooting, especially off the dribble, and that time got an opening and knocked it down.
You also mentioned that other voice you heard with Jack Crystal. Jim Ellis, of course, is a longtime partner for Jack Crystal on the state broadcasts.
And probably will be the heir apparent one day.
Oh, that shot's blocked away by Mamadou.
First block of the day for Njai, as we have said many times, leads the league in that category. Let's watch him. He's at 7 feet, long arms and great timing. Very athletic for a big guy.
Bart Heisch inside the arc. No good, and the rebound is controlled by Hughes, and he's fouled from the backside. So only 3 free throws in the first half. A few more fouls here in the second. As now Auburn with 5 fouls and State with 4, but that's 3 on Tyrone Washington.
Well, that bench just doesn't seem to have a lot of spirit. They have really just had a tough SEC season. Lost so many close games that they could have won in the last minute. And struggling here today offensively, but still only down by 6 points.
Mamadou up and under, no good. Good defense by Washington. Boy, stood his ground.
That's really a good battle between 2 big guys who can really play.
6-point game. Whit Hughes, his granddad has made the trip over. He never misses a game. Of course, his grandfather also played at Mississippi State. Whit wears 15 in honor of his granddad. Whit Hughes leaves it for Bart Heisch, who launches short. Look at the battle on the boards. Oral Roberts had it, scrambles on the floor with it, and Washington comes up with a loose ball. Bart Heisch open. No, he gets his own rebound. They'll reset it again.
Well, good hustle there by Mississippi State, keeping the ball alive and maintaining possession. And a smart play here by Todd Miles, just getting his team organized and set into an offense.
Whit Hughes open again. No good. Oral Roberts inside. Scores, and he's fouled.
Don't know what's going to happen down the stretch here in terms of who will win, Bob, but if Mississippi State is able to come back, you can go back to this possession as one of the key possessions in the game. On the shot, this is the 3rd offensive rebound of this possession for the Bulldogs, and Oral Roberts, a junior college transfer out of Bossier City in Louisiana, makes the play.
First bucket of the day for Oral Roberts. He's another guy who struggles at the line. 45% free throw shooter. And Washington gets another rebound.
Boy, I tell you what, they've been at this end forever, and that's the kind of effort Richard Williams wants.
But a steal by Bryant Smith. And the finish.
And when you need a play, who do you look to? You look to your leader, the guy who's done it for you all year. Bryant Smith having an all-SEC type season.
What a huge possession. State could have cut the lead from 4, but instead they're down 6 now. And didn't get a shot off. We tick down to 8 minutes to go on the game. And a whistle away from the ball. Njai and Oral Roberts getting sideways down low. Before they get those long arms going, you get them tangled up.
Well, Mississippi State's in what they call their power game, where they're trying to isolate the big men in the post, and you just see Oral Roberts in there trying to get himself open. They got Njai for the hold over the shoulder.
7th foul on Auburn, so Mississippi State now will shoot the 1-and-1. Last 3 years, one or the other has swept the series. Auburn swept it in 95 and 97, and State swept it in 96. And Auburn has the upper hand now because they won the earlier matchup down in Starkville, 69-66. Oral Roberts hits the free toss. 3 points today. Now 4. Boy, look good on those two. That cuts the lead down to 4. It's 51-47. The big train back in. Oral Roberts gave him a couple pretty good minutes there.
Well, there's no problem with Mississippi State's effort, their defense. They're rebounding well. They've blocked some shots today. They're doing the job in those areas, and offensively is where they've had a problem, but still hanging around.
Robinson a little hard on the shot. More rebounds. 4-point game. State trails with the ball.
Best way to score is in transition.
White in traffic and throws it away. Bad play by White. Outlet pass. Can they catch it? Nope. So Auburn had a run out, but the pass was a little bit too far. Timeout on the floor. Cliff Ellis's team still leads it by 4, but State's got some momentum on their side. 7:33 to go in the second half here at Auburn, and the Tigers lead State by 4 points.
As computing and communications converge, Alltel's practical approach and proven solutions can take your company to a new level faster than you ever dreamed. Alltel, always more than you thought.
Everyone needs someone who will be there. Everyone needs someone on their side.
If your car or home is damaged, your Nationwide insurance agent will be there, making sure your property is repaired or replaced to your complete satisfaction, with no hassles. That's our Blue Ribbon Claims Guarantee.
Nationwide is on your side.
Communications, information services. The faster these technologies converge, the sooner we need to talk. Alltel, always more than you thought.
What makes a Dairy Queen frozen Valentine cake so special? Because it's made with the sweetheart of treats, delicious Dairy Queen chocolate and vanilla soft serve, and a big hug of chocolate fudge and chocolate crunch. But the icing on the cake is you can get it decorated our way or your way. The Dairy Queen Valentine cake, the most delicious way you can say, "Be my Valentine." We treat you right. Dairy Queen.
Auburn leads it down on the Plains, 51-47. Richard Williams, coach at Mississippi State, of course, a 1966 graduate of Mississippi State, a math major, and had his first coaching job, Bob, at Montebello Junior High School in Natchez, Mississippi. His roommate asked him would he coach the 7th grade basketball team. He agreed. He said, "Do I get paid?" He said, "Yeah, $200 supplement." His 7th grade team won the championship that year, and he never got the $200 supplement.
But he got the coaching bug, didn't he? Trey Moore. Nope. Won't fit. Oh, Washington gets another rebound. State now with 17 offensive rebounds on the afternoon. Whit Hughes, he's had a good shooting day and nails a three-pointer. He's got 4 of them today.
Yeah, he's shooting the ball well, Bob, but State changed their offense out of the timeout. They were going to a double low post power game, trying to get it to Washington. That time, they opened up the lane and used dribble penetration to get the open 3 for Whit Hughes, who has the hot hand here today.
That's his career record, too, for three-pointers in a game. That's 4 of them. It's a one-point game.
State's used to playing in these games. All their games in the SEC have been down to the wire.
Shot no good. Now State has a chance to get the lead. They have not led since early in the first half with about 4 minutes to go. Trey Moore for the lead. No good. Njai, good defense. Shut him off. 6.5 minutes to go.
Both teams playing man-to-man. They've stuck with it pretty much the whole second half.
Auburn did have an 11-point lead in this half. Holman's open. Short on it. Bryant Smith on the offensive glass and scores.
Bryant Smith has as many offensive rebounds this season as he does defensive because he is active going to the glass and good quickness around the bucket.
White from the corner. That ties the game. A three-point shot. Dietrich White, his first three-pointer of the day. And it's 53-53.
You got to love Dietrich White. Such a competitor. Both ends of the floor, knocks down the big shot.
Joe, you mentioned that zone defense for State. That's what got them back in it.
Definitely. Now, they've gone back man now. But Richard Williams just wanted to change the tempo a little bit to change the flow of the game.
Bryant Smith blocked away by Washington. And now State has a chance to grab the lead. And remember, this all with Horatio Webster not having a big day. Only 4 points for the big train. 5 minutes to go.
Webster's being guarded by Randy Hughes, the freshman.
Washington blocked by Randy Hughes. Auburn back the other way in a tie game with under 5 minutes to play. The doctor can't get in.
Mismatch here. Webster's had to switch off on Robinson. And Dietrich White inside on Randy Hughes. That was the mismatch. And Auburn, a smart play going right to Hughes, and he drew the foul from Dietrich White inside.
You know, really not a bad play by White because State's not over the limit, and he was going to get dunked on maybe, or at least go in. So a foul is called on Dietrich White, and so Auburn will have it with a fresh shot clock. The 20-second timeout is called by Mississippi State. And there you see Auburn. They've been very good closing out games this year, Joe.
Yeah, Cliff Ellis is talking to his team there, getting them going. They have been a very much a surprise team in the league this year. They're 5-4 in the SEC right now. That's the best record for them in the last 11 years. And Cliff Ellis with 5 of his top 7 freshmen and sophomores. He has one of the top 20 recruiting classes coming in next year. And the future of the Auburn program under Cliff Ellis looks very, very bright. I know he's very excited about it.
Other SEC games today, Ole Miss leading Alabama 19-18. That's in the first. And in the second half, Tennessee still holding on against South Carolina, leading 50-49. Here we're tied with 4:34 remaining, and Auburn's got the basketball. Fresh shot clock. Mamadou Njai working hard inside and slams it over Washington.
Well, it looked like he stumbled when he went back to make the turn, but he gathered himself nicely. And it's 7 feet. He can rise up and flush it home. Big basket for Njai.
See if State can answer to try and retie the game. Pass in low. And the ball knocked free, out of bounds. Lots of bodies dive on it. And it's going to be Mississippi State's ball with 19 seconds on the shot clock. Joe, Randy Hughes has been everywhere today.
He plays with a lot of enthusiasm, Bob. Has good speed and quickness for a guy of 6'9", and plays with a lot of enthusiasm. Loves to block shots and is not intimidated one bit by Horatio Webster or Tyrone Washington.
There you see the Bulldogs, good defensively. They've held Auburn to 55 right now. But they're trailing in the game by a couple with under 4 minutes remaining. Webster to tie it. No, Robinson rebounds. Now let's see if Auburn uses a little bit of clock here. They only lead by 2, remember. Nope, no clock this time, and Robinson misses. Joe, that was a quick shot.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if that's the one Cliff Ellis would want. Wanted a little more patience there, but Robinson is playing right now with so much confidence. He wants to be the hero.
State resets. Todd Miles in the game. And the ball knocked away, and a foul is called on Randy Hughes. That's his third. And Auburn's over the limit, so now Mississippi State goes to the free throw line. That's been their Achilles heel the last couple of games, though, Joe. They have just not knocked down the free throws.
A little bit too much enthusiasm by Randy Hughes, and that's a freshman mistake because at 3.5 minutes to go, you don't want to put Mississippi State on the line with a bonus situation. You'd like them to have to earn their baskets.
Moore hits it. Last year, he scored 17 in the game at Auburn. In his career against the Tigers, he's averaging 15 points a game. So Trey Moore has come up big against Auburn down the past, and now he's got a chance to tie this thing up with 3:22 remaining.
And as soon as we talk about the freshman mistake, the freshman heads to the bench, and the senior comes in, Franklin Williams.
Moore, no good, but the ball is slapped out by Tyrone Washington.
Second time Mississippi State has tipped the ball back on a missed free throw. That's by design. Good coaching by Richard Williams.
State with a chance to lead it here. Whistle, charging foul. Pullman took it.
Cliff Ellis said about Scott Pullman, he said he knows how to play the game. He does so many little things that you don't see, and right there, set up on the curl move, took that charge and gave Auburn the ball back.
Second foul, or third foul, check that, on Dietrich White. Mamadou Njai giving the Tigers the lead late here at Auburn.
Are you wasting money on spoiled food? Then you need EuroSealer, the amazing new sealer that creates an airtight seal that locks in freshness so food lasts longer. Simply slide EuroSealer along the edge of any bag and it's sealed airtight. It's that easy. Every time you open it, food tastes like it just came fresh from the store. Look, EuroSealer creates a seal so airtight even water won't leak. Amazing! EuroSealer keeps cereal crunchy, chips crisp, vegetables fresh, and deli meat delicious. 1 week later, Twist Tie salad is brown and slimy, but EuroSealed salad is green and fresh. Now, on this exclusive TV offer, you can get EuroSealer for only $19.95. Call now and get EuroCan free. EuroCan leaves edges incredibly smooth. You can even reapply the lid. That's a $40 value, all for only $19.95.
To order the EuroSealer and receive the EuroCan absolutely free, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-216-4411. Don't delay, seal the deal, and order today. Call now.
Advance Auto Parts presents part number 16. Larry, our battery expert. Larry installs more Autocraft batteries in a day than most people do in a lifetime. No matter what you drive, Larry will make sure you get the right battery for your car. 92 Accord?
Yeah.
Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
SEC basketball is brought to you in part by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Good finish here at Auburn. Mississippi State has rallied from 11 down this half. They've tied it. Now they're behind by one, 55-54. And Mississippi State now's got to dig in, and they've done this basically with Horatio Webster having one of his lowest output scoring games of the season.
Well, some other guys have stepped up. Whit Hughes, in particular, senior out of Jackson Prep Academy in Jackson, Mississippi, has a career game for three-point baskets. The senior has done the job. Dietrich White has played well. Tyrone Washington with double-figure in rebounds.
Auburn with 3 minutes to go. Last time they took a real quick shot. Let's see how much clock they use this time.
Sticky man-to-man right here by Mississippi State.
Clock is at 7. Mamadou thought about it from 15. Somebody's got to shoot it. Njai takes it in and really gets clubbed by Tyrone Washington. A hard foul. Fourth foul on Tyrone Washington. He was going to make sure he didn't score.
Well, Washington had left to go over and help on ball penetration. You see he was late getting back and had no choice but to foul Njai, or he would have had an easy layup.
So the fourth foul. And stepping on Tyrone Washington and Mamadou Njai stepping up. The Tigers today, 2 of 3 at the free throw line.
That's amazing that they haven't been to the foul line any more than that, as aggressive as Mississippi State is defensively. But again, it shows the discipline in the State defense. They move their feet well. They've been well coached on that end of the floor. They don't reach for the ball a lot and always in good position.
That's probably a good sign that Auburn's only shooting 57% at the line in SEC play. But that time, Mamadou hits it, and that's a two-point game, 56-54.
Auburn with a boxing one on Whit Hughes. Pullman is chasing him.
Trey Moore, a floater, ties it.
Give credit to that young man, a senior out of Houston, Texas. He's had a tough second half with some forced shots, but that was a big one right there for Mississippi State.
Tied at 56, 2:09 to go. They go inside again to Hughes, working against Webster. Follow a no. And Whit Hughes, boy, he's had a career high, tied, scoring with 14, and a big rebound there for the senior. And Richard Williams wants to talk about it. A timeout is called, a 20-second timeout to set up a play to try and give State the lead. Remember, Joe, they've battled back from 11 down this half, and they've done it by just digging in defensively.
Well, Bob, Mississippi State's last 3 road games, they lost in overtime at Florida. They lost in double overtime at Ole Miss, and they lost by 4 points at Vandy. This is a game that Richard Williams thinks could be a stepping stone for his team to get back on track to get a possible postseason bid.
On Wednesday night, one game in your area, Alabama against South Carolina, or you will see the Tennessee Volunteers and the Kentucky Wildcats. Look for the game in your area coming up Wednesday night. Tip-off time at 8 o'clock Eastern. Tie game. Stay with the basketball. White, baseline, layup good. Brilliant move on the baseline. Dietrich White with 11.
Brilliant move is right, Bob Kessling, and just toughness. That's what Dietrich White has. He's out of Durant, Mississippi, just an hour from Starkville, making the big play.
First lead this half for State. First lead since the 11-minute mark in the first half for the Bulldogs. Mamadou Njai puts it up and in. It won't count. They're going to say he traveled with it. He tried to take it at Washington to foul him out, but he took an extra step.
And we talked about the discipline of Mississippi State's defense. Here's the drive the other end. Dietrich White down the baseline. Good strength to take it up over 55, Randy Hughes. But at the other end, the discipline of the defense by Tyrone Washington, staying on the floor, not leaving his feet, allowed him to pressure Mamadou Njai into that traveling violation.
So a 20-second timeout.
Two good basketball teams right here that know each other so well, both trying to get in position to get consideration for the NCAA tournament, possibly the NIT. This is a big game, as every game in February becomes down the stretch.
Crunch time is what they call this. And State has the basketball. Whit Hughes has had the hot hand, his first double-figure scoring game this season. And let's see if they go to him. Horatio Webster only has 4 points on the day. 1 minute to go in a tie game. Webster, the big train for the lead. No good. Mamadou Njai rebounds. Brings it up like a guard.
Hard luck continues, Bob, for Mississippi State. That ball was halfway down by Webster and popped out, and now a great opportunity for Auburn.
Webster 2 for 10 today from the field. Timeout. 43.8 seconds to go. We're tied, and we'll be back for the close after these messages from your local SEC station.
You have Eggs Benedict taste, but a scrambled eggs budget, and you want to furnish a home? What to do? No problem. Come to Kaiser Fine Furnishings. We've just introduced Drexel Studio in Thomasville. 2 fine furniture lines that also just happen to be very affordable. Drexel Studio, Thomasville. Thomasville, Drexel Studio. Join the circle of living well. You can do it at Kaiser.
Saturday night in the WSFA News 12 6 o'clock report. Organ donation is a serious problem in the U.S. An average of 10 people die every day waiting for a second chance at life. And it's especially crucial to those African Americans waiting for a kidney. Hi, this is Debbie Williams. Join us Saturday at 6 as Dr. Michael Lenore tells us how African Americans can help find a solution to this problem and save more lives. Watch Dr. Michael Lenore's Health Report Saturday in the WSFA News 12 6 o'clock report.
I think I'm in love. I want more.
Mississippi State leading by a couple over the Auburn Tigers. Auburn has called timeout. And Richard Williams' team's trying to close this thing out. Auburn, by the way, this year 0-7 when the opponents lead with a minute to go. So there you see the timeouts. Joe, who do you go to? Doctor?
And I think you'll probably see an on-ball screen out top for Doc Robinson. They'll let him create. That's how he beat Ole Miss last Saturday.
Robinson to the baseline to tie it.
Well, they didn't set a screen for him. They just cleared out the right side, and he made the great move. He did that against the Ole Miss Rebels last week. State will take the timeout. They're going to go for the last shot of this ball game.
Tied up at 58. Well, now, Joe, do a little coaching for us. Do you take it down right to the buzzer? Do you try and win it? So your option is win it or send it to overtime?
Well, the feeling about playing on the road is that you want to go for the last shot of the ball game. I think Mississippi State will take the clock down with 5 seconds to go. They'll try to run their play, either attack on the dribble, probably with Dietrich White, or maybe try to go inside. Let's watch the replay. Doc Robinson, player of the week last week in the SEC. Nice crossover. Got away with a little push-off on Dietrich White and kissed it in off the glass. Doc operates beautifully here at Auburn.
58 all is the score with 28.9 seconds remaining. Wednesday night, more SEC basketball coming your way. Wednesday night, it's Tennessee against Kentucky at Rupp Arena in Lexington. That's an 8 o'clock Eastern start, 7 o'clock Central, or in your area, you might see Alabama against South Carolina. Again, an 8 o'clock start. Check for the game in your area. SEC basketball Wednesday night here on Jefferson Pilot Sports. Low scoring, defensive struggle, now tied at 58 with 28.9 seconds remaining.
It'll be interesting to see what Auburn does defensively here, Bob. They've been noted to change defenses out of timeouts, but I don't know if Cliff Ellis can afford to play a zone or a box and chaser against in this particular situation. I look for him to play straight man-to-man here.
Everybody's up, urging the Auburn defense to dig in here. Who will take the shot for Mississippi State?
They're in their 1-3-1 half-court trap. Cliff Ellis has changed.
Neither team with a foul to give. Washington missed it inside. Mamadou Njai rebounds. And a timeout is asked for. My goodness, Tyrone Washington, point-blank range, and couldn't finish. And now Auburn still has life as the Tigers have 10 points, 4 seconds remaining to try and win it. Joe, you can't execute much better than that.
Auburn tried to surprise State with a 1-3-1 half-court trap out of the timeout. And, Bob, honestly, you can't attack it any better than State did. They got it to the corner, got the defense flattened. Washington cut right down the lane. He was wide open and simply did not put the ball in the basket.
Here's our Artel play of the game.
Well, here we look at it. You see the pass inside to Washington. He's got the easy one and just was a little bit off balance, didn't gather himself. And, boy, is that a huge miss for the Bulldogs and a big opportunity with 10.4 seconds in the game for the Auburn Tigers.
Joe, you don't draw it up any better than that, do you?
Well, from a coaching standpoint, you don't, Bob. You know, at the timeout, you say, if they're in the 1-3-1, here's what we do. Mississippi State executed it perfectly, just didn't finish it with their big guy, Washington. And now on the other end, who do you think is going to get the basketball? Would you bet Doc Robinson might have the ball right here?
I'll say this. I'll think that number 50 will touch it somewhere in the next 10.4 seconds. He won 2 games last week. He beat Mississippi State last week. And now he gets a chance to put another dagger in the Bulldogs. Let's see what happens. 10.4 to go.
Here comes the screen on the ball. Either way, he can go either way here.
Robinson lost it. Timeout. He was trying to direct traffic and forgot about dribbling the basketball. Well, so both coaches are frustrated.
You know, it's interesting. He actually looked over to the bench to Cliff Ellis before he made his cut with the dribble. And Cliff told him, come on, go, Doc. And I don't think he had his head in this right here. Watch him. He's driving, and now he looks up. He tries to go between his legs. And when he did, Dietrich White got the hand in there and made the steal. Beautiful defensive play by Dietrich White.
Quick timeout. Timeout. 58 all. 2.1 seconds remaining in regulation play at Auburn.
Let me tell you a little love story. Happened at this wedding. Groom's buddies all sneak out and do the usual number on the groom's car, right? There it was, the most perfect black Ford Mustang known to man. So right when Mr. Shaving Cream's about to pull the trigger...
I can't do it, man. What? Just can't do it.
I mean, it's a Mustang. It'd be like defacing a national monument or something. Ford Mustang, built to last.
Here's the thing about debt. Sometimes it's hard to know when it stops working for you and when you start working for it. Well, I found a way to make sure that doesn't happen. Nations Bank showed me how to take my credit cards, car loans, and using the equity in my home, combine them all into one loan with a lower interest rate. Smart, huh? I make one payment a month, and it's less than I was paying before. And that definitely works for me.
SEC Basketball was brought to you by Nationwide Insurance. Check the yellow pages for the nationwide agent nearest you. And by Alltel, where computing and communications converge. Alltel, always more than you thought.
State's got a shot at the last shot of this game. They're out of timeouts, however, and they got to take the ball out right in front of the Auburn bench. So Richard Williams has diagrammed what he hopes to be a game-winning shot.
Whit Hughes is going to make the pass.
Former outfielder on the baseball team, so he can make a long throw.
Good baseball player. He's going to try to throw it into the front court and get a quick shot for whoever they can get open.
Let's see who pops free. And it's intercepted. Smith from midcourt. Missed it. That one won the game. We go to overtime.
Unbelievable. What a ball game. Back and forth. Neither team can find the handle to make the finish.
Auburn led it at one point, 47 to 36 in the second half, an 11-point advantage. Mississippi State went to the zone. That helped them get back in the game, and now we're tied and going to overtime.
Well, Hughes is trying to throw it cross court here. Bryant Smith with the interception. If that goes, this place goes bananas. Just off the mark.
If that's 6 inches to the right, we're going home.
Exactly. Got to talk to Bryant about that. He's got to follow through a little more on that half-court shot.
On the mid-court shot,
drifted on him, you know.
All right, State, they've been here before. This is their 5th overtime game of the year. They're 2-2 in extra periods. And Auburn going to overtime for the first time, Joe.
First time for Auburn, as you said, and Mississippi State with experience. This is the 3rd game in the last 5 for Mississippi State to go overtime. All 3 on the road. Of course, we've already talked about that at Florida last Wednesday, and then a couple of weeks ago at Oxford, Mississippi, lost in double overtime to the Ole Miss Rebels.
Not only has State played in 4 extra periods, they've played 2 double overtime games. They've won 1 and lost 1. Their overtime games, they won against Alaska Fairbanks. They won against Oklahoma. They lost in 2 overtimes to Ole Miss, and they lost in their last game at overtime against Florida. Bryant Smith had the chance for the game winner from midcourt. Not exactly the highest percentage shot. And now we go to the extra period. Washington will jump center. Remember, he plays with 4 fouls.
Watch for the set play that Auburn runs on the tip. If Njai gets this tip, they'll set a back screen for him running to the basket. Let's see if they can execute that. I know Mississippi State knows that.
Not a very good toss, but Auburn gets it on the deflection. Bob Kessling and Joe Dean, free basketball for you today on a Saturday afternoon. We're in overtime. Win Hughes knocks it away, and he is fouled. Bryant Smith reaches in and picks up his 2nd foul of the day. And State has a chance to grab the overtime in the extra period.
Nothing fancy there. That's just a senior, a young man who has been to the Final Four with Mississippi State, making the overplay, the steal, and getting himself to the foul line.
There's the overtime record this year, 2-2. Win Hughes, this could be a career high. He's got 14 points on the day, and now 15, and more importantly, he gives his team the lead.
Led his high school team, Jackson Prep Academy, to 3 state championships and 103 wins in his time there.
Knocks them both down, 16 for the senior. And State has the lead in the extra period, 60-58. 30 seconds into the overtime. Ryan Smith can't get in against Hughes, and they reset.
State has stayed man-to-man the last 10 minutes of the game.
Robinson can't bank it up. Njai puts it up. Check that. That was Randy Hughes, not Njai. Hughes ties it at 60.
But Njai's presence there really helped Randy Hughes get that opportunity at the goal.
60-60.
I tell you, Bob, these two teams are about as well matched as any 2 teams in the SEC.
Swing it. White down low. Bryant Smith knocks it free. Loose ball, jump ball. All in a possession goes to Mississippi State. You know, another, Joe, the key thing in this whole thing is the fact that Mississippi State's been able to do this basically without Horatio Webster. Webster today he's 2 for 10 from the field.
And it's an example of what you have to do to win games, Bob, when your offense isn't going well or your leading scorer is not a part of that offense. State has gotten back in this game with their defense, hustle plays, making things happen.
Little runner, a right-hand shot by White on the baseline. 13 points for him. And Mississippi State grabs the lead again in overtime. 62-60.
Auburn forgot about the inbounds, man. White, he just stepped inbounds after throwing it in. Got it from Trey Moore and laid it in.
Such a big game for both teams with the NCAA tournament looming in just a couple of weeks. You need as many wins as you can get, and these are 2 teams, potential bubble teams here, both needing wins. Under 10 second shot clock. Bryant Smith's got to put it up. Short. Rebound Webster. Now State with the ball and the lead in overtime. Joe, both of these teams have played great defense all day.
They really have, and Auburn now's in the triangle in 2. Zone with 2 chasers.
Moore, big shot. Got fouled on it. Mamadou Njai came running at him and fouled him. Cardinal rule, don't foul jump shooters.
Well, you've heard coaches say that forever in basketball. Go at the shooter, but don't ever foul him and put him on the line. And Mamadou just a little bit too close in contesting. Trey Moore has a chance to give State a bigger lead here.
Moore had to have a little ups to get that one over the top of Mamadou coming in. Moore with 10 points on the day. 1 of 2 at the line. A little flat. Not much rotation, and the ball won't stay down. Every point crucial here. Mamadou goes out. Back into the game is Franklin Williams.
And free throw shooting, Bob, is such a lost art across the board in college basketball. Just don't see real good free throw shooters anymore.
State's only shooting 50% from the line today. That makes them 9 of 17 with that make. But still, State leads it 63-60.
And State's gone to the zone.
Who's going to score?
Trying to stop ball penetration right here and keep Auburn off the line. The reason for the zone defense.
Coleman thought about it, didn't take it. Shot clock at 10. Smith in the lane, can't shoot. Shot clock at 5. Robinson, a desperation three. It's no good. Ball loose on the floor, out of bounds to Auburn. And a fresh 35 seconds on the shot clock.
Look at all the bodies on the floor. You don't think these young men want to win this game both ways? They are getting after it. Every possession critical.
There you see Horatio Webster. His stats today, only 4 points, 2 of 10 shooting. Tennessee has won at home today against South Carolina. That's 4 in a row for Tennessee after a 1-5 start. Now Tennessee 5-5 in SEC play.
And you have to say with that win, Bob, that Tennessee definitely becomes a major bubble team in the SEC for a shot at the NCAA tournament. I believe that's their 15th overall win, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, because they were 10-0 to start the season.
Vanderbilt, a bubble team. Auburn, this Auburn team. Mississippi State, not out of the realm of possibility if they win here today that they could get there with a strong finish. They have 4 of their last 6 at home.
20 seconds on the shot clock. Robinson to tie it.
He's done it all year. The doctor, a sophomore out of Selma, Alabama.
He's got 100 of his friends here today for their church, and other people from Selma came down to watch him. And Doc Robinson, a big jump shot there. Tied at 63. 1:20 to go on the game.
Auburn stays triangle in 2, chasing Webster and Whit Hughes.
Moore is open. No good. Washington saves it. Clears it out to White.
White or Moore need to step up and make the open shot here for the Bulldogs. They're the next best shooters other than the 2 guys that are being chased, Webster and Hughes.
17 rebounds for Washington today. Shot clock at 15. The big train. He's been quiet all day, but he toots the horn on that one.
When they need it, the big players, the money guys step up. Robinson did it for Auburn. Webster that time for Mississippi State.
That's his 7th three-pointer of the season and the biggest one, I would guess, of the year. Auburn needs to answer. Robinson to tie it.
Mercy, Bob Kesley. String music in Auburn, Alabama, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
We are tied again. Trading trays. And now State can hold for the last shot. And Richard Williams calls a timeout.
They call it SEC basketball.
It is 66-66 with 19.2 remaining.
Horatio Webster, the big train. He's a Mississippi native from downtown in the corner to give the Bulldogs the lead, but not so fast. At the other end, they call him Doc. Doc Robinson, just a sophomore. He's an Alabama native. String music from the left side. We got a tie ball game with 19.2.
Joe, you having a good time?
I love it.
This is unbelievable. There's our BP best players of the game. Whit Hughes to that career high 16 points, 4 of 6 from three-point range. And Brian Smith for the Auburn Tigers, 13 points today, leading this Auburn squad. It's a tie game and 19.2 remaining. State can hold for the last. They tried to do that in regulation. They executed, couldn't get the layup to go, and now you got to think they're going to hold it to the very end.
Well, they'll definitely hold it to the end unless they get a wide open layup like they did in regulation with Washington, who missed it. The question right here is, what is happening in that huddle right there? Is Cliff Ellis going to come out in the 1-3-1 trap that we saw in regulation, or will he come back man? What will he do? Mississippi State doesn't know that, so Richard Williams is telling his team, we don't care what defense they run. We're going to hold it to the last shot and then probably use dribble penetration by Dietrich White to get an open shot.
Dietrich White with 13, Whit Hughes with 16, Trey Moore with 11, and Horatio Webster with 7.
Auburn is man-to-man.
That's the game clock, lower right. Tie game, 66-66. Whit Hughes. Ball knocked away. Bryant Smith for the win. It counts. Auburn has won 68-66 over Mississippi State. Mississippi State had a chance to take the last shot, but Bryant Smith, our BP best player of the game, comes up with a steal and just beats the horn for a 68-66 win.
He's third in the SEC in steals, plays the passing lane, the long arms, gets the ball. Good hustle by White, but he couldn't do it. Bryant Smith, Jr., Huntsville, Alabama, wins the ball game for the Auburn Tigers. Let's see it again. Whit Hughes on the pass. There's the steal. This young man's going to be very happy, and he's made a lot of Auburn Tigers happy here this afternoon. That's a big, big win for the Auburn Tigers and keeps them in position, Bob, at 6-4 for a berth in the NCAA tournament.
Let's don't forget Doc Robinson's big three-point shot to tie it, and then the big defensive play by Bryant Smith to win it. So Auburn moves to 14-7, 6-4 in the SEC. State's now 2-8 in the SEC competition.